Well, it is right before sunrise here, out here on the Spiritual Ranch. Um, so it is a grand rising, right? We're not mourning our losses for sure. There's no good way to mourn. It's always sad, right? It's a lot of work. Um, we're not mourning. We're rising, and that's the narrative, right? That's where we're at right now in this whole adventure. This intergalactic, timeless but eternal adventure that we are all on, man. Interdimensional. It's a highly spiritual experience. It's only in the spirit that we experience this the most, and that's this place that we should experience it from, and that's what's going on with the world today, a lot of things are on their head, or at least they seem that way, or possibly even not on their head, but delusional, dysfunct, like detached. It's like there's a choice that's being made right now. It's a lot of people, they call it the Great Reset. There's the Ascension. There's a lot of things that are happening because on our timeline, there's been so much toxicity manifested through our chase over the material things in the world today, and they've been working hard, trying to cover the world with greed and try to disconnect you from your 5D reality, from your connection with the ethereal and the Most High, and your full understanding of the length of time, the actual duration of that relationship that you have with the Most High, with yourself, through yourself. You're an eternal being. An eternal being is energy that doesn't ever go away. It doesn't ever. It only moves. It only travels. So it only goes to the next phase. It doesn't just dissipate into nothing. That never happens. And so with the mind control, with the fear tactics, and the greed, and the lust and the chase, they funneled us all into this 3D reality, where everybody's worried about what's going on here on Earth. We're worried about what they can see, touch, hear, feel, and they're not working with that fifth element, which is spirit. They severed our ties with spirit because spirit tells us to not be frivolous with our time, to not be frivolous with our energy, with our eternal source of energy, to know what it is that we do with it, and to manifest the best, to manifest the kingdom that lies within us, which is the kingdom of God, which is the kingdom of heaven, right? And so each and every one of us is a like space pod or whatever. We can come down from the ethereals and we can exist here in this physical plane, in this 3D, and experience the physical, but ultimately, as we experience this physical plane, the ascended masters, like what we're trying to teach is that we can manifest heaven on earth, and that's through our cooperation and our relationship that we form with the spirit, with the 5D, with the things that we cannot see, that most people cannot hear, and most people cannot touch, they cannot smell, and that's that fifth element. That's that element that the high priestess works with, and a high priestess has been showing her face in the energies here these last 3 days. Yesterday was a real rough day, emotionally, and so if you're vibrating on the same plane that I am, then you know what I'm talking about. There's some watershed, and so like the water's flowing, right, and so we're being attacked. They're trying to take us down, man, and that's why we're so isolated. That's why we're so alone. And that's why, we really feel outnumbered, but that's okay. Like, we just got to hang in there, because like in the absence of spirit, in the absence of God, everybody's grown quiet, and so they try to hide, right? And so they throw rocks and they hide their hands and shit, right? But see, they're stuck in the 3D, and so all that shit they're doing, it's just like white noise, to us because we're now separated. We're in the spirit. We're in the 5D. We chose to rise up. We chose to ascend. We chose to go where they were taking us, even though that was unknown territory. And those who decide to cling to the reality that's around them, that's crumbling, they don't want to see us rise up. And so they're tugging at that string. It's like we're like a helium balloon or whatever. We're trying to rise up into the cosmos so we can do our best work, bring heaven here on earth. But we got individuals that are tugging on that string because they want to keep us. They want to pull us down. They want to pop that balloon because they don't want to see us rise like that. And that's tough. It's hard. It's hard to be that balloon and to be rising above everything that you love. And to know that you still love them, you still love everything that's down there, but you got to go away from them, and bring in a new era. You got to bring in a new light that the world's going to relish and the world's going to thrive in. But the people who are not willing to stand in that light, the ones that want to keep tugging on that string or trying to hold you down, they're doing that because they don't want you to find that cosmic light switch and make that change in this world that's coming. They're afraid of that change because they're so corrupted by the 3D. They're so corrupted by the things that are around them that they fear losing, that they can't let go. And so that's our heartstrings that they're tugging on a little bit. But that pull that they're putting on our heartstrings like that, that's what we need to let go of right now, because that's the last connection. That's the last thing that ties us. That's the invisible bond that we have between each other, us and other human beings, and that's a very magical, very spiritual bond, but it's extremely corrupted right now, and that's black magic. And so individuals know that it's not even that they know, it's like, it's that they're so fear-based, they're so consumed by fear that they can't see what they know and what is true, and that's why they keep a hold of you. That's why they keep that connection. That's why they have those ties attached to your soul space, to your heart space, to your emotions, and they keep trying to drag you back down or pluck you down out of that sky where you're trying to rise above it all, and like, they don't realize it's like, if they just let you rise up, it's like you're a new sun in the sky. Once you get up there in the cosmos where you're supposed to be, you meet that higher plane, you're going to become like a new sun in the sky, and that sun is going to illuminate everything, and it's going to bring new life to the experience that we all share, but we have to shed, it's like wintertime is over. And so the people who weren't willing to do that shedding through the winter and get rid of the detritus and the old from last season, they might not be able to renew in the light of the sun that you're bringing, But those of us that have, we've done our shedding and everything, we proved our vines, then we will be the light. And we're going to prosper in that. We're going to thrive in that. It's going to be a new world, But as we let go, we rise higher. And we know that. And so right now, the spiritual attacks, the spiritual warfare shit, it's real. And it's like a lot of times the spiritual warfare shit like that, it's like people who are confused about what love is. They're still trying to love you, but they just love wrong. And that's confusing, and that's how we all get caught up in that shit. That's groupthink, And so we allow them to keep pulling on that string and everything. And, helium balloon don't float forever even, Even if you don't pop the motherfucker, it gets tangled up in the bushes and shit or whatever. Eventually it loses its float, man. It gets stuck. It gets trapped in that 3D, and it no longer rises above. It's not the new light of the new day, And so we're trying to learn how to fight that shit. We're trying to learn how to fight that shit without hurting people, without being crazy, right? Without getting caught up in that maelstrom and that tempest of fuck emotion, that everybody is in right now because they lack emotional control, We have to know how to control our waters right now to stay safe, And that's the truth, man. And we got to stay confident in our air, We got to know that it's the thoughts that we're having, it's the way that we're seeing things, that's what's going to change the world, And that we can't let them try to tug us back down into that physical plane, We can't let them try to capture us in too much of that King of Pentacles, the reverse energy, that that energy of like we're gonna lose here if we don't, if we think this way, you know, if we think differently, if we try to see things differently, that's gonna cost us, you know, and that's a King of Pentacles in the reverse. That's being too caught in the earthly realm, man. And so that's what we're trying to figure out here, and that's why I'm here. And so I'm Shesh no way. You know, this is the spiritual ranch out here, and things have been going really good out here. You know, and I'm the off-grid oracle. I read energies. You know, I read the energies that Most High sends my way, man, and I try to just read them in a way that hopefully is understandable. You know, and I understand that. No, my voice is not heard by many, you know, but it's only going to take a few of us, you know, and so I know that confidently, and that's why I just keep on keeping on, you know. And, we're all sigils like that for the Most High. You know? We're all posted up at our stations that we're supposed to guard here. You got to find out why you're there in that portal, in that place, you know, and what Most High is asking you to do there all alone, because the chosen ones are in that position, you know. And so, Father God, man, you're everything to us, you know. Thank you so much for everything that you do, you know. This struggle out here in this world today is real. You know, we're grateful for everything that you do for us. We're grateful for the individuals such as myself out here who have that connection with you so strongly, and who you've taken the time to work with and to forge into powerful weapons, you know, that have tongues of steel, man, molten iron that you took the forge to your forge down and made it razor sharp edge, man. So when you swing that sword, you dash your enemies down to the ground, you know, and you cut them in half. You know, your wisdom destroys their lives every time, you know. And I want to be that weapon in your hand as you fight your battles against the evil that trying to rule this world, trying to rule your creation, try to destroy everything that's good, you know. And you are everything that's good, and so we already won this battle because they can never destroy you. You're God Most High, man. You're the most powerful thing ever, you know. Most beautiful thing ever, man. You're most of everything, you know. Most of everything. You're God Most High. Thank you for sending us the spirits that speak truth, you know. Thank you for protecting us from them spirits out there that lie, that eat shit, you know. And please take care of anybody out here in the collective. Take care of everybody out in the collective. I know you do. I don't even got to ask, you know. It just helps them to see that, lift that veil off their eyes so they know where they can witness where their blessings come from, you know. And not be confused by the beast and by the demons and by the spirit of the devil out here that's trying to fuck shit up, man. Yeah. And so as they drop bombs and they threaten to drop bigger bombs overseas and everything, you know, in this world today where they're killing everybody, Lord God, you know, I ask you to make me biggest bomb they ever seen, man, with your truth, you know. And we want to melt everything out here that's not real, and we want to rebuild this thing in a manner that is suited to you and in your image, God Most High, man. You're the king of all kings. The baddest motherfucker out there, you know. You made me in your image, and I appreciate that so much. I ask that you continue to bless me with my angel's wings so I can fly, man, and help me cut these ties that hold me down, you know. And do the same for any of those out here that want to listen up to your word and hear what you got to say, man. I love you, God. Love you so much. You're my king, man. And we love God, right? That's the whole point, you know. I mean, honestly, that's the whole point. Everything else is bullshit, you know. Now is the time to put all of your faith into God Most High and really go with them, you know. Like fuck the masses, man. Fuck the people that are trying to tell you who and what you are or anything. You need to listen to God and do what God's telling you right now, because there's choices that are being made, you know. They're making deals up there behind closed doors, man. And all of you, I'm gonna say all of you because I know damn good and well I'm good. I covered my shit. I paid my dues and everything, but that's beside the point, you know. They ain't out here. They ain't looking for one Jesus right now. I know. They're looking for 144,000 of them, and that's just a start. Think about how bad that is, though. Think about how bad that motherfucking army is. 144,000 Jesuses, you know, with legions of angels behind them, you know. What's the devil thinking, man? Really, though, you know? you know, that Vladimir Zelensky or whatever, like he rolls with the devil because it's just like with him, It's like, what the fuck is he thinking, man? Why would you choose a losing battle, Why would you choose a battle that everybody loses? Like that's the thing, It's like that's what God wants us to realize, man. If we were all helium balloons, we wouldn't have no battles. We'd all be floating around out there in that fucking ethereal. We'd be happy as fuck with cosmos with God, man. But something inside of us got broken somewhere along the lines because we decided to listen to the devil, just like that dumbass fucking Zelensky, right? And look where he's at. How many times is he gonna have transit to clean up that mess, man? I don't care how good you play the piano with your dick. God don't care how good you play the piano with your dick. But if you're out here killing millions of lives and shit like that, destroying the earth and like just doing greedy shit, stupid shit just to please yourself like that and everything, be powerful, well, you're stupid. Just a corrupt pawn. Stuck in the 3D. 5 is more than 3. So those of us in that 5D, we're richer. We're the rich motherfuckers. We're the wealthy ones. When you float around that 5D, that just puts you closer to the coffers of God, man. And the wealth rolls in. But you understand what abundance is in the 5D. You don't see it in the 3D sense. You want to travel light, You understand that the things that disappear quickly or whatever, resurrect quickly. Don't put too much stake in your own stupidity, That's what you learn. All right. Hey, Spirit, where are you at, man? You up this morning yet? The sun ain't even up yet. Yeah, Spirit's always up, man. But yeah, Spirit, I know you always up. I know. Spirit, man, Spirit. Hey, if you're going to have a best friend, I'm going to tell you all right now. I'm going to give you some advice, If you're going to have a best friend, make acquaintances with Spirit. Get to know your Spirit team. They're your best friends. They got you, man. They really got you. They really do. I promise you, Like my Spirit team is telling me that your Spirit team has you, My Spirit team, I got a badass motherfucking Spirit team, man. Fucking entourage, They out here, I swear, I start getting good. I stay positive. I stay in that 5D and I'm positive, right? But then like things will happen, in the world, right? So it's like I'm trying to grow my garden and everything, And so we got the monitoring spirits, and like the spirit community calls mice and certain insects, stuff like cockroaches and shit like that, rats. Those are monitoring spirits, because they come in, they do things that break it down to the 3D, and they give you grief. And they make you unhappy, right? Like, I had the mice getting into my starts here, and they were eating my pepper plants, And, like, I don't know why they're eating my pepper plants. I wanted the peppers, and peppers are a good cash crop and everything, but I got a lot of tomatoes. I got a lot of cucumbers. Those are good cash crops, too. And I got a lot of seed from melon. I got other cash crops I could grow. But it really chapped my ass that they ate my peppers, right? And it's like, I'm not even that huge of a fan of peppers. I can live without peppers. I like jalapenos, I like get some fresh jalapenos because they're cheap or whatever, but they're good. They're vitamin C. They're good for parasites and stuff, vermifuge, But then mice, they get in there and eat my pepper plants, and I'm like, man, pissed. And so I could be hot, flying high, I could be feeling good, I could be seeing all my blessings. I'd be like, yeah, man, I feel really grounded, really at peace, really, really like that balloon soaring up into the sky. I'm like, fucking, yeah, man. And I walk in like that area where my plants are, and I go check my plants, and I go, fucking, mice ate my fucking motherfucking peppers, right? That's like, poof, somebody's got a hold of that fucking, that string on the bottom of that balloon, and they're tugging me back down. They're trying to tug me back down, to that 3D realm where I got to worry about shit, because I'm worried now. I'm like, oh, them motherfuckers, and all of that, the candle's making noise, And so then, like, I'm worried, but then I have to check myself, and I gotta say, hey, that's why they call them monitoring spirits, because like the devil sitting this thing is that test you, so they're like gonna eat your fucking pepper plants. I'm not gonna live or die because I don't have the pepper plants. I'm not gonna live or die because I don't have that money. If I have the money, I'm going to still be alive. If I don't have the money, I'm still going to be alive. I'm still going to be with God. I'm still going to be with my spirit team. I'm still going to be able to access that 5D realm that brings me so much peace, And so I can't let those monitoring spirits that are here on earth, and those could be human beings as well, you know. But like I'm talking, I'm alone. I've completely isolated myself to be free from spiritual attack, and so the only way they can attack me is with like the mice and stuff. And the mice have been rampant in here this year. I haven't seen mice at all, hardly, you know. And like, but the devil, the spirit of the devil is working through them little entities, because the mice are easy to control, you know. They're easy. They're really easy. They're not like a human being. They don't have a whole lot of free will. So the mice can tempt. The devil can tempt that mouse to go in there and eat your pepper plants. And then if you're still strung out on stress about like money or status or like trying to impress other people or any of this other shit, then you're going to let that really bum you out, and you're going to lose your 5D experience that day, and you're going to be stuck in the 3D, and then you can get stuck there forever if you're not careful, you know. But like, what I do is I talk a lot about them damn mouse traps, them acorns, you know. And so I follow God's lead. I go find something that the mouse likes a little bit better than the pepper plants, you know, because they're just being tempted by them pepper plants. Like, those pepper plants are something new. The devil's like, oh, okay, go in there and try something new. You might really like it. Go in there and get a taste of that. Oh, in reality, the fucking mouse is probably nervous coming in there to eat my pepper plants and shit, because they know they get snapped in here, man. This is the human world, right? If they're out there just eating a grass seed where they belong, they're safe. They're with God. But the devil's tempting that little spirit, saying, oh, hey, come over here and eat these fucking pepper plants and everything, so they can fuck with me, you know? They're trying to get me to go down in that little realm, you know? And I say, no, fuck that shit. If this mouse is going to be working for the devil, then I'm going to trick them with God's goodness. I'm going to glue me a fucking acorn on that trap, and I'm going to go in there and snap. And there's no more monitoring spirits eating my fucking pepper plants anymore. And they ate a lot of my pepper plants, but I don't give a fuck, you know? I don't care. Like, I'm not going to live or die because I don't have those pepper plants. For me to worry about having those pepper plants would only be attached to me worried about having money, or be worried about having some kind of status or ego, or like whatever, or even just like even a tasty ass. Okay, yeah, well, they're really tasty. Well, so what if I don't have them right now? I'll find something else that's tasty. God gives us the whole green earth to have tasty shit out of. That mouse could stay in their environment and go eat all kinds of tasty stuff all day long that they want to eat in God's green earth that God provides for them. And I guarantee you there's some juicy morsels out there that they love. Wild strawberries are coming on. I'm sure they love them wild strawberries, you know. Leave my fucking pepper plants alone. Don't fuck with God's chosen ones. And then stand there and hide your hands and not expect to get that fucking acorn glued on that trap, man, because that's what's happening right now, you know. And so we're the acorn, God's the trap. And the devil's monitoring spirits can go fuck themselves, you know? All right, hey, spirit, want to come in and play? We're going to tell the spirit, let's do this thing. Fucking let's do this thing, you know? That's what I'm saying, man. And same goes here with these reading and shit. We don't want no nasty ass spirits in here that can talk to us or trying to fucking mislead us, trying to make fucking none of this bullshit. I told you all here like a couple weeks ago what's up with this fucking red-headed fucking devil we got here in the White House. I told y'all. Ain't gonna make no deal. Ain't gonna make no fucking deal. I told you guys. Well, I didn't tell you jack shit. That's just what Spirit said. Anyways, let's see what they got. Hey, Spirit, welcome out and play. Let's have a conversation here. Let's see what's up. I want to talk to you guys. What you got for us, huh? Spirit says they're excited to get some fresh cannabis around here. Smoking that fucking old shit, you know? They're like, man, fucking 2-year-old fucking shit. Get something that smells good. They like that sweet smelling stuff, you know? They do. Alright, Spirit. Spirit. Oh, this Spirit, man. How spill these coins over here, man? Yeah, man. Crazy out here today, Spirit. What we got now? What want to talk about? We won't tell the world, Spirit. We won't tell the world, Spirit. There's a lot of shit going on right now. These air signs crazy, man. What the fuck's up with it, you know? Everybody's on their head. It seems like it, you know. Fuck yes, Spirit. So Spirit. What the hell, man? You're watching me. I know you're there. Try to give me a hug. Give me a hug. I love you. We're going to tell the world today, Spirit. Come on now. Let's do a morning read here. Let's talk. What you got to do, huh? What's up, Spirit? Still work with me today? I missed it. Let's try again. It's good. Let's talk, huh? We want to tell the world, Spirit. We want to tell the world, huh? You gotta talk to me, man. I know how you guys are awesome. If it wasn't for Spirit, little guy, shit, it'd be quiet out here on the ranch, huh? I'm too stupid to talk to myself, man. I don't listen that good. All right, there you go, Spirit. Everything fell on the moon side of the world today, man. Somebody's hiding their emotions. We got that emotion coins over there hidden underneath the mushroom. Just that tax token, you know, somebody get taxed. Tax on their emotions, right? It says tax on purchases. $0.10 or less. Not a very big purchase, right? And so somebody ain't got much emotion to work with anyhow. But I call this by emotion coins. It's got a hole in the middle of it. That's the water. I don't know why I roll with the water on the round ones, just because I do. But that's that. This is another. I have two of these. I have another one in there. It's a little bit bigger hole in it. But it's not the same as this one. So this is the tax token. So somebody's trying to hide the fact that they're emotionally taxed right now. That's water. Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, you know. Not that any of that fucking really matters. Water's water, so you just gotta know yourself, know your water, know your chart. Wherever water is in your chart, you know, that's where the things that you get emotional about, right? And so if you got water placement in your chart in your house of money, you're gonna be a person that gets very emotional about money. And that will separate you from the 5D, guaranteed, you know? So don't play that game. So whatever it is though, if you got water in your house of sex and pleasure and all that shit, then you might need to tame your passions a little bit. You get too emotional about it, you know. You need to rein that shit in or figure that stuff out or whatever, you know. But you need to not be so emotional about it, or you need to be right now honest with yourself about it, what it is, you know. And so if it is in your house of money or whatever, you need to figure out why you're being so emotional about your coin. You know, what is it that's causing you this emotional upheaval about your coin, right? Because something's going on there. And so this bullet over here, see, this bullet is hiding, is underneath the moon. And again, so we're really in our emotion here, man. We're really in our emotion here. We're feeling emotionally wounded. That's a wounded warrior. That's a bullet. It's a blown out bullet, you know. So that bullet, whenever it shot at it, it hit its target. And I'm pretty sure that the target that hit was the throat of George Washington. And that coin I have with that George Washington coin, that wounded warrior, they go together, man. Because that bullet went right through the throat of that motherfucker, destroyed their throat chakra. They couldn't speak on their shit. And so they're emotional. Maybe somebody's emotional in their house of air, in their intellect, and their thoughts, right? And so maybe they're feeling emotional about what they think, but they don't know why they think that way, you know? And so that's going to make you emotional. You can figure that shit out. That's a 3D way of doing business, not a 5D way of doing business, you know? And that's truth, man. This coin here, it's that ancient empires coins, like the ancient empires, Ottoman empires and all that shit, right? Because it's an ancient Ottoman coin right here. You can't even hardly see anything on it because it's so ancient. It's got some little clips on it and the sides and stuff. Though I was reading that they do that shit for fucking some shit when they used to do trading. But this one right here, and then we got right here is the lot of wounded energy out here. Got a lot of wounded energy out here. This isn't necessarily like a wounded warrior energy, but it's like an embattled energy. And so this is like it could be like the Nine of Wands, kind of. You know, and I guess we could say that the bullet over here is more like the Ten of Swords, right? Right? And so it's like a wounded, it's like a it's like a deadly wound, you know, but that you've healed from, kind of, you know, like they talk about in the Bible and shit. Like they shot you in the fucking throat, man, but you still think, you know, like you're still functioning, you're still alive. So they killed your chakra, but they didn't kill you. These ones here, this is embattled, you know, and so this is like in the trenches, you know, and it's coming out here right underneath the world. So the bullet, that's air, of course, because it's a bullet. It flies through the air, and it's representing that ten of swords kind of energy, And so that's like one of those, like, um, everybody who's hiding their emotions right now from Most High is gonna get cut off from their intuition. That's what that is, That's what's happening. And these are the ancient ancestors, The ancient ancestors are out here. They're just floating around the ethers because they don't feel like anybody's listening to them because everybody's really hung up on this outdated thinking. This is outdated thinking, This is fuck, dude. This is the stupid shit that's going on in the world today, man. I mean, that's military. It's an old brass button from military, uniforms. It's like it has the old stamp here on the back. I'm too fucking blind. It's too dark. I can't read that shit. But it's made over somewhere over there. It's like the real. There was like I was talking about. There's like an intern camp out here. There's a slave camp out here. And nobody knows about it. It's like top secret shit, really. And but I know about it because I fucking spirit tells me everything. But this brass button. See, because there's this other place out here I know of, and that's a long story. I can't tell the whole story, but anyways, there used to be a barn up there. It got burned down some time ago, and they built a new building on top of it. But I've been looking around all over out here. I always look around and I find stuff. And this button, I found it, and because at that one time on that property, this whole valley was owned by a psychopath. Like it wasn't owned, it was taken. It was is a maniac, man. I don't even like to say a motherfucker's name, man. I ran his energy out here. It's not allowed here no more. No, I chased it out. But like, he one time, he lived out here. He fucking came out here and killed all these people, enslaved them and stuff. But at one point, they had a ranch house out here. I think it was probably right here where I'm at, And his wife was feeding the native people were hungry because they killed all the fish and shit. They killed off all the deer, The whites that came out here, they were fur trappers, skin trappers, and they came out here for the deer because we have tan oak, it's a big tan oak tree out here. You use the bark for tanning hides, and so these guys came out here and they peeled tan oaks, and that was a staple crop for the Native Americans. And they killed all their tan oak trees. They put hogs on them, They ate up all their acorns. They killed off all their tan oak groves. So it's like the groves were ancient groves, and they and so they. This piece of shit that was out here, this serpent, he fucking he was doing something, working somewhere as a rancher, right? And he came back from ranching, and his wife, she obviously had a good heart, right? And so she was like there at the house, and she was feeding the hungry people. The indigenous people were hungry because we killed off all of their indigenous foodstuffs. They couldn't feed themselves, man. And this piece of shit was like, nah, they're worthless. They're lazy. They're no good. Fuck them, And he beat the hell out of his wife, and he killed them all. It was a group of native men, the men, And so they're all their women. They're trying to get food, for their people back at their camp at the river, And so at their village, And so this guy he killed them all, man, and then he put them on a raft, right? And then he floated them down past that. The women and the children that were down in the village, to show him the shit that he did, And then he went in there and killed all of them, just because his wife was trying to feed him, piece of shit, man. But that's what this represents. Because he was also working with the military and everything. I'm pretty sure that he had a big part to do with like why they were out here with that intern camp and everything. Because out there in Humboldt, they made Chinese people illegal in the late 1800s, and a lot of them got enslaved because of that, and that's all politics, right? And so that's this old politics that we're trying to dominate the world with again today, We're trying to put our suits, trying to put our uniforms, trying to put troops on the streets out there to fucking Russia and fucking start another world war, man, where they're going to have thermonuclear warfare. We already are in a world war, like another world war. We've been in a world war for fucking my whole life. And but this shit needs to realize that it's outdated thinking. It's like that bastard that fucking settled here. It's not going to work out that way no more, man. We're tired of them killing off our braves and putting them in rafts and floating them down in front of the innocent and everybody and trying to make everybody so fucking afraid that they can't even live, man. Like, that's not cool. And that's what's happening here, man. And that's why these ancestors right here came out. They're trying to give me a hug. They're trying to sit in my fucking lap because they're saying, "Hey, man, you need to speak the truth out here because this is dire. This is dire. This spread of coins or of the shit out of my bag over there. This little spread right here, this is the coldest damn spread that I've done yet, and that kind of aligns with the energies that I was feeling yesterday. I don't feel hopeless. My shit's fucking thriving. I have no reason to feel hopeless except for the energies of others around me are so hopeless, and that's dragging us down. That's that string connected to that balloon that's trying to float off into the ethers, man. We're that balloon, you know, but they don't realize that they ain't losing us. And we ain't trying to run away from them. We're just trying to illuminate the ethers, you know. Hey, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. That's a good start, man. Thank you. You know, yeah, it's cold. I know it's cold. You felt it yesterday too, man. Right? Spirit's really good friend, you know. Like, really... You know, guys, like, you gotta stop pretending like that shit's not real. You like realize, you know, that they're really there for you. They've always been there for me. I've been through stuff that my story's crazy. It really is, you know, like it's hard for me to believe, you know, and like, but they've been there with me, guiding me, taking my hand and leading me exactly where I need to go on that entire journey, man. And it has been a crazy journey. Like, it's been epic, you know. It's like Homer's Odyssey, man. I mean, I've been fucking through it, you know. And then at the end of the day, I've had lots of human companions. I've had lots of different partners. I've had lots of. I've had a child. You know, I've been married twice. I had 3 siblings growing up. You know, and a big family, big huge family, and everything. You know, and every single thing that has severed their ties with me, every single thing. You know, and just on their own, even. You know, it's like I love the people that I've had my experiences with the physical. The things that I've experienced in the physical, sure, it's been a good experience. It's taught me a lot. But the only thing that stuck with me has been spirit. And they tell me they love me every fucking day. And they show me they love me every fucking day. And they do that unconditionally, you know. They don't ask me to fucking do shit in return. Just be me. And that's a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. And that's not what we're seeing here on this table at all. In fact, that's why the emotions over there are hiding underneath that mushroom. That's why the intuition over here is getting shot right in the fucking throat. And nobody's listening. Because the ancestors are hanging out with Shesh not no Noehe, and everybody tells Shesh not no Noehe to shut their fucking mouth. And so the ancestors are saying, well, whatever. We'll sit over here and be quiet with them then. They don't like this war. They don't like this shit that's going on in this world right now. And really, quite honestly, you know, they're my friends, and I represent them because nobody sees them, and I speak to them because I'm manifest here in the physical, so you can see me and you can hear me, and I can get loud about it. They could yell at you all fucking day long, you're never gonna listen. As they rise me up, my voice will only grow louder. 7 of Wands on the bottom of the deck. I haven't even shuffled cards yet, but 7 of Wands on the bottom of the deck says, it's worth fighting for. Whatever that means to you. I know what it means to me. And it's worth fighting for. There's a young fire sign. There's young fire energy that's around us. There's young passions that are around us. There's immaturity around us that's causing us to really question a lot of things that we think, you know, like, or causing everybody to think differently about what they think possibly, you know. But nobody's really trusting their intuition right now. They, the stuff they put in their arms and the stuff that they consume has severed their ties. That's that bullet, you know. The gun is in the hands of the controllers. The bullet that flies out of it is that what you consume that destroys you, that destroys your ability to speak for yourself, you know. And so if you have a guilty conscience, that guilty conscience is what's killing your ability to listen to your intuition, you know. And we can all have a guilty conscience for a lot of fucking reasons, right? And those are the things that we have to work on to eliminate from our heart so that God can bring in our 10 cups and fucking bring joy into our lives, you know, really fulfill us. Because right now, we're seeking too much fulfillment in the 3D, and that's where the that's the derivative, you know. That's where the emotional disconnect, the lack of ability to use our intuition, and us hiding our emotions over here, not being real with ourselves. is causation. The causation of that is our consumption of the world affairs, the world, you know, what the world tempts us with, you know, right? The lies, and we're not listening to our ancestors, right? Well, I'm listening to my ancestors, but I know that a lot of individuals around me right now are not. And if they are listening to their ancestors, they need to pay attention to what ancestors they're listening to, because they're not listening to the right ancestors. And that's why they got themselves feeling stuck out in the cold. Because this mushroom energy right here, with the emotions coin being hiding underneath it, that's the emotionally stuck out in the cold right there. Because mushrooms like to grow in the cold. They don't grow, some mushrooms grow in the warmth, but all the mushrooms around here grow in the cold. So that's just what that is. Spirit, can we get a coin on that one? What's up with these emotions? What's up with these cold emotions, you know? Why is everybody in these cold ass motherfucking emotions not trusting their wisdom because they got shot in the fucking throat, man? Two swords. Chickweed, you know, two swords is stuck at crossroads, right? It's in the upright though, so it's chickweed. I got a lot of chickweed out here. I love chickweed. I eat it all the time. Actually, I've shown some videos about that. It's good. It's yummy. Chickweed's juicy, man. It's fucking tasty. But chickweed's also a weed, and so a lot of people would never even realize that you can eat that stuff and it'll fill your whole backyard. You know, the forest out here, like it's coming to an end right now. You know, it dries out, it turns red. It gets real pretty this time of year. It turns yellow, but it turns red. But it comes out and it makes abundant seeds, right? Too, you know, and the seeds it makes these little nests called chickweeds. It makes like little nests. It has like little seeds that are in the nest, kind of like eggs, right? But this time of year, when you go pull all the weeds out of your garden or whatever, they jump off of there and make a little noise, like, you know, like they all come off there, like, and they make a million of these little seeds, you know, and so they come up really abundant, you know. But they're kind of like I think they're related to spinach, maybe, you know. They're kind of like spinach a little bit, you know, kind of like that. Like they got a thick kind of mucilaginous, like real dense, juicy, kind of like bok choy and stuff, you know. They're good. It's good, you know. And it grows abundantly. But see, a lot of people could be starving or could be fucking malnourished because they're eating too much junk. Like they'd be sitting there eating junk food all day long and then spraying Roundup all over that chickweed, where that chickweed, that could be the emotional abundance that actually they need to be nourishing themselves with. It is provided for free from God, you know, just like that mouse I was talking about, you know. Instead, everybody's standing in this two of swords situation here where they can't see enough truth to cut themselves out of the bind that they got themselves in, right? But they got both them swords in their hands, but they don't know which sword to swing, you know. And in reality, they need to set them swords down and realize that them swords are swords that are made by man, and that God gives them a sword of truth, that God gives them their Excalibur, but they need to stay in their environment. They need to see who and what they are in order to understand where the abundance lies for them, you know. They're not going to be tempted by the devil like that mouse is, because that mouse is not staying in direct connection strong with God. It wants to roam out of the forest, and it wants to come up into my fucking realm, and then it's getting snapped, you know. And that's what the fuck that is. And so that's also saying that emotionally right now, if you want to step out of the fucking 3D, then you need to use those two swords that are in your fucking hands and fight hard for that shit, so that you can cut that string that is keeping you bound from that, like that balloon, you know, and you're not rising up above, you know. And so you got to make some choices. That's what that is. You're emotionally feeling like you're out in the cold a little bit, stuck underneath that mushroom, not fucking feeling like you're seeing or whatever and everything, because you're not seeing yourself, man. And that's the thing. To be that balloon and rise above, you can't see yourself because only Most High is above you, you know. But you can see everything below you, and you need to trust that intuition and not let them fucking make that 2 of swords, a 10 of swords against your fucking throat chakra. Speak your mind, man. Speak your mind, and even to yourself. Speak your mind when you're in the fucking shower. A lot of people sing when they're in the shower. Well, fucking sing when you're in the fucking, talk to yourself when you're in the shower, man. Talk to spirit when you're in the shower. Talk to spirit when you're sitting on the toilet. Just talk to spirit, whatever. You get a couple minutes here and there, fucking just talk to spirit. You're in the fucking goddamn grocery store aisle looking at macaroni and cheese, man. And I don't give a fuck if somebody standing next to you. You say, hey, spirit, what macaroni and cheese do you like, spirit? Just treat them like your fucking friend. And be like, oh, you don't really like macaroni and cheese? What the fuck do you like, man? A hamburger helper? Oh, fuck yeah, cool. I like hamburger helper. Well, fuck, I'll get a box of hamburger helper, and we'll fucking have hamburger helper too, huh? I mean, I would say don't eat none of that fucking bullshit, but I would have to have those conversations like that with spirit in an unclean environment, because my environment is fucking clean. And so everything that spirit that I have out here jives with spirit, and that makes me powerful. You know, I fucking tell you what though, man. You know, it's like I said, you know, that boy I was 15, you know, he couldn't believe how stupid his daddy was. And then on his 25th birthday, he couldn't believe how much that old man learned in 10 years. Spirit, I love you, man. Queen of Wands, man. Queen of Wands, again, in the upright position here. With this, that Queen of Wands, you know, that Queen of Wands, it's just because this is Wands energy for sure, like I said, right? It's a nine of Wands kind of energy, right? A little bit. And so, the Queen of Wands with that burdock, right? And so, we talk about burdock a lot, man. It comes up often, you know? And, I never see alias is beggars buttons, which I never have seen that. I don't know why I haven't seen that yet. But this card always comes out with that damn fucking button, right? See, it says edibles. The entire plant's edible, right? But mature plant has enormous leaves up to 2 feet wide, multi-branch stem up to 5 feet high. Has clusters of round burrs with bristles, right? And so it's high in vegetable protein, roots, boil, dry, powder, for nutrient additive, and that's all they tell you how to prep it and everything, you know? But, yeah, see, that's what the burdock does. Like, it takes over, you know? And so burdock, it's like, yeah, the whole thing is edible, you know? It's it's very productive and it's highly nutritive. And it's like, it's got a lot of good qualities and everything in the earthly realm, you know? And so it's like, it's earthly. It can really like overproduce or override anything else that's around it. You know, it can over dominate its environment and it can eliminate everything else that should be growing around it that we also need. It's that diversity. It's like that spirit that I was talking about that habitated out here. He was in that Queen of Wands energy because, yeah, he was a rich guy. Yeah, he was a popular guy. He was famous, you know. He's in the history books and shit, you know. That valley's named after him. They got creeks named after him and all this fucking shit out here, you know. Like, and so if you didn't know any better, you would be like, oh, they named a valley after this person. That person is probably a really good person. And so you'd just be naive, you know? You'd be kind of like this two swords individual right here. You wouldn't know what the fuck was going on around you. And you'd drive through the valley and go, oh, wow, look at this great valley. Look at that this great guy did, you know? But in reality, that's the Queen of Wands because he came in here and then his passion, his magic, his shit, you know, because they're warriors. Queens of Wands are warriors, you know? And so he came in here and he went after everything that was here that he didn't agree with because he wanted to plant his wands there instead. He wanted there to be burdock instead of the oak trees. He said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna cut down the 10 oaks and I'm gonna dominate this space." That's him planting his wands in that field, but his wands couldn't feed everybody in that field, you know. She can't fucking feed everybody. You know, everybody doesn't just go on wands. You know, it's like you got to have air, you got to have water, you got to have fire, you got to have all the elements for it all to function properly here. You got to have that fifth element. You know, and with Queen of Wands, they try to manipulate that fifth element. You know, like the Queen of Clubs, she's a black magic. You know, she's a sorceress. You know, and so she could be very wicked. You know, she could be large and in charge, but she could also be very wicked too. You know, and if And that could be deceptive to people because this is a fire energy. This is like Leo, Sag, Aries, you know. And so they could be kind of like a little bit king of the show, right? They could be the star of the show, but they could also be the vermin, you know. So it's like they could seem like they could come off as the pepper plant, but meanwhile they're at night they're coming back and eating that shit. They're the mouse too, you know. And that's the burdock. That's why you gotta watch out with the burdock because the burdock has them great big leaves on top, which is their ego, which the Queen of Wands is an egotistical individual as well, you know. And so that them big leaves on top that are egotistical, you know, an ego can be used properly. You gotta know how to use the ego properly. But if the ego dominates, then the only thing you're going to have is ego, and that's the problem. And the thing is with the burdock is that you can whack that ego down. You can chop that ego all the way to the fucking ground, right? You go with your weed whacker and just mulch that shit, just destroy it. But the burdock root goes way down deep into the ground, you know, and it stays there, and it keeps coming back year after year after year, right? And so you can whack it all the way down to the fucking ground, but if you turn your back on that shit, then the shadow of that individual will still come back, and then those burdock tops will be there again as soon as you turn around. As soon as you give it some water over there, boom, here comes that ego. So you pour some emotion into it, boom, here comes that ego. And that's why everybody's hiding their emotions nowadays underneath the mushroom over here, because they're like, man, fuck, every time we fucking water this burdock over here, their ego gets out of control, and then they're out here starting another fucking war in the world. See what I'm saying? They're out here trying to kill somebody with this fucking goddamn, this worn out bullshit right here. And they need to realize that you ain't a queen of wands. You're a nine of wands, bitch. And we're the motherfuckers coming after you, you know? That's what it is. That's what it is, you know? Why is this board over here, Spirit, underneath the moon? Wait. What? Spirit tells me to shuffle in fucking cards. Hey, man. I hope for you, I hope Spirit talks to you the same way they talk to me. Everybody wants to tell me I'm fucking crazy, man. I don't fucking give a fuck with them. Fuck everybody, man. The shit I hear coming out of everybody's mouth is fucking crazy. Spirit is the only fucking motherfucker that talks logic. Real fucking like, nah, man, that really fucking makes sense, you know? And when I fucking tell people who are confused, because there's a lot of people in this world right now, I know a lot of people who are confused, you know? And when I talk to them, they're like, hey, man, yeah, you know? The ones that are intelligent enough to understand what I'm uttering about, they're like, damn, yeah, man, fuck yeah, you know? Makes sense. The problem is that the people I love, they got so many strings attached to that balloon that it's sad for me, because, you know, it's like I'm looking down on everything. Like I said, you know, I'm rising. There's nobody looking down on me but God, my angels, you know, and like, so, but I'm looking down on everything as I rise higher and higher and higher and higher, you know, and the ones that are bound by them strings, you know, that got all these attachments and stuff, they're trying hard, you know. And they have it in them. They're just a big, beautiful helium balloon. Y'all are big, beautiful helium balloon, just like me, man. I love y'all for that, you know, and I do. I love you, you know. But, you know, I understand, like with them strings, some of them strings, you think you're going to cut that string. It's your lifeline. I know, man. I've been there, you know. And God chose me, you know. I was chosen. That's what it's all it is. Not that I don't love y'all. It's not that I'm trying to run away from me, but not that I'm trying to just go crazy and fucking vanish into the ethereals and everything. It's just that God made them cuts for me, you know, and confidently, you know, like knowing that I wasn't gonna bleed out, and like I thought I was gonna. Fuck, man, you know. Sometimes, I mean, yesterday, man. Pretty emotional, you know, like, and so it's like emotionally, yeah, maybe bleeding out, fucking crying and shit or whatever, you know, like, it's rough, you know. I miss everybody. I miss the things that I loved. I do, you know, but like, I can't reattach them, you know, like I understand now, you know. It's like I'm on that 13th floor, you know, and like when you get to that 13th floor, you step off that thing, and then you find that there's a different elevator that nobody else rides on, you know, and that's just what it is, man. And so it's like I have to be confident in my intuition over here. I can't have that bullet, you know, shooting me in the throat. I gotta speak God's word, even from a place where I know it's like I'm speaking into a void, but it's being heard in the heart space of individuals. Every time I speak the truth, it's felt, right? And so I just hope that I could coax people from the other side, because nobody realizes that there's the 13th floor right there, you know? It's like you just don't see it. But when you see it, that door opens, and then you're going to find me on the other side. I love y'all, you know? And that's just the truth, you know? And that's a beautiful thing. It's just the way God works, you know? It's like God's a quality over quantity kind of guy, you know, and the devil's quantity over quality, you know. The devil wants to just put as many squirming bastards out here to fuck with as they possibly can. But God would rather there be a few that are chosen, you know. And that's just the way it is, man. And you know that. Because you ain't gonna have this bullet shooting you in the fucking throat chakra, no fucking way, man. They gonna fucking pop your balloon, right? The spirit going on this bullshit. Good spirit, I love you, man. Y'all don't get it. Spirit's awesome. Telling you, man. Spirit, why is this boy over here? We want to tell them, Spirit. Quit tickling my ass, man. Quit trying to make me laugh today. It's like my little dog, you know. He wakes up in the morning. I come out there in the morning to see him, you know, whatever. He gets so excited, man. He starts like running in circles, and you're just like, I could be in the lowest moods, you know. I can wake up from a nightmare, be in a nightmare, or whatever. You got a little guy, he's like, wow, man, he gets to run so fast. He gets running so fast, his ass hand can't even keep, he can't even keep up with his own ass hand. Grabs a stick, he throws his stick for himself, does flips all over the place, tries to make me so happy, That's spirit. Little guy is like the mice are, but he's a little bit higher evolved, he has a little bit more free will. He has a little bit more understanding of like the darkness and the light, he has a conscience, right? A little bit more, And so like he's not as easily tempted by, well, they could be tempted by the devil for sure, them low spirits get into a dog, fuck a dog up. I've had a couple dogs I've had to put down or whatever, because of that shit, right? Sell them or whatever. And I generally I don't like putting down dogs. I've had a couple that, but fucking I like to sell them to city people. Yeah, that's what I always do. Find me some city person, pawn off that shitty dog. Whatever. That's the dogs anyways. They want to be worshipped. They're tempted by the devil, But little guy, he's got that good spirit. See, like I'm trying to say is that dogs are just like us. They can channel energies, It's just that they can't willfully channel. They can't protect themselves as much, right? Unless they're real powerful spirit. Little guy's power spirit, man. He's got an insane astrological chart, really. His orb's huge, And he's divine being, So he is able to, the good spirits that I work with, that I channel, that channel through me, they're really easy they can really easily channel through little guy. They get into the little guy and they know like they're working with both of us, because he's my familiar, like that. He's a soulmate, And so he my spiritual team, like him and I, me and little guy's like a little piece of my spirit, just like we're a little piece of God's spirit, And so like little guy, my spirit team recognizes him because he's divine. He's like me. He's a divine spirit, He's a little piece of a divine spirit. And so they're able to whisper in his ear, and he has that same fire in him that my spirits have, because my spirits are real fiery. They're really funny. They're really goofy, They like to joke around and shit. They really do. They're fucking funny, man. That's how little guy is. He represents that in the physical. They're able to really manifest that spirit into the physical, That's a beautiful thing, man. You guys, I hope everybody has opportunity. Actually, my homie on here on YouTube, Dead Wolf. I appreciate the hell out of the guy. He's keeping it real. He's doing his shit. You're doing his shit, bro. I appreciate that. But he just, his video, he just did a video on with his little calf running around and shit, man. Buddy, right? And Buddy had that same spirit. That's Dead Wolf's high spirits, energies, channeling through that beef, channeling through that calf, and raised and lifted his vibe, lifted his spirit, lifted his vibration, and that's what spirit does for us, and we got to realize that they're always with us. It's like they can exercise that through the animals and the familiars and stuff that we have around us, and they can through people, but people are becoming really resistant to that anymore. That's why everybody seems so dead, and so we got to let that light that we see, like in that calf, or like that I seen and little guy out here when he's out catching sticks and shit, fucking getting all crazy. We need to be more of that, because that's what we are. That's our spirit team, That's your family. That's your soul. That's a tribe, That's how you are in your heart space. And when you see another representation of that in the physical through your spirit team, then you see that and you're like, oh wow, that really brings you joy. It really makes you feel good. It really opens up your heart space, your heart chakra, and makes you glow. And it softens your tone and it makes you more inviting. Other people could see that in you the same way that you see that in that familiar, right? And so when you feel that way, that's very attractive. That's very abundant to others, to everything around you, and you can teach in that energy, just like that animal is teaching you how to be happy. You can teach others to be happy. And so that's you, like what you're seeing in that familiar, in that animal, is your spirit team and the light that you have. And so the way it brings joy, if you represent that energy that you're recognizing in that animal that's bringing you joy, be that energy yourself, because you have it available to you. That's your spirit team. That's spirit team, man. And that's awesome. That's beautiful fucking thing, man. And that's how we're all going to be more powerful, That's how we're going to change this world. Even being several thousand miles apart. I don't even know how far fucking I think he's in North Dakota or whatever. I don't know how far fucking North Dakota is from me, man. Long ways away though. Like I'm out in Northern California, It's like mountains, big mountains between us, But we can still change the world. We can do our fucking work. And we can enlighten the masses and elevate the fucking consciousness of the masses by simply being in that spirit, in that energy, even if we're completely fucking alone and isolated, And that's the truth, man. And that's what we're working on. We're working on being the best version of us, for us, in the light of Most High, because we know as that balloon that is floating above everything and elevating, we know that the only fucking audience we have is Most High, and that's the only one that we should worry about keeping happy. And when they're fucking happy, people will fucking die to be in your fucking energy. I mean, people will literally hire fucking crazy practitioners and shit, do black magic on you, try to take you the fuck out for that shit, And when you fucking master that skill, like a little guy is so protected. He's a powerful motherfucker because he is completely open to the divine spirit. He doesn't have no strings attached to him, man. He's really elevating, He's an angel. And that's what we're trying to do. Because the only way that we could fucking illuminate the world as the light that we are is when we raise ourselves up to the highest of highest elevations. When we ascend to our highest heights, then we can illuminate the biggest portion of this world with our light, And that's the goal here, man. And we're doing that shit. Yeah, see 4 coins right here. It's a four pentacles, 4 diamonds on the reverse here on the bottom of the deck, which is saying, let that light shine. Don't be afraid of what you got to let go of in order to elevate. In order to let God cut those ties. You're not gonna bleed out. Let God cut them ties, because you're not gonna bleed out. Yeah, that's Ten of Swords over here with that bullet underneath the moon. Something that's telling you intuitively, We got 5 of Cups, right? In the upward position, which is a milkweed. And the 5 of Cups is that energy is the energy of crying over spilt milk, right? Milkweed. But the thing is that card in the tarot, that's an individual in a cloak who's got their head frowned. They got their head turned down towards the 3 cups that are spilt at their feet on the ground, and the 3 cups that are spilt on their feet at the ground. Those are the strings that got to be cut, because there's 2 cups that still are upright in that card that the individual is not looking at. They're looking at the cups that have been spilled, right? And so the energy of yesterday was very much so in that energy. But what Spirit tells you is to not worry about them cups that got spilled. Them cups that got spilled, they're just watering your crops, right? And so make sure that them cups that got spilled aren't watering the burdock. Make sure that the burdock's not getting watered and that your crops are getting watered with them cups. So you don't got to worry about it, because God still got them 2 cups protected for you behind you. That's your 2 cups. That's your union with God, your divine union with God, which is your union with yourself through your Most High. And so the Ten of Swords here with this bullet energy right here is That's that shot that's been taken, you know, and it's trying. They've been trying to tend towards your intuition. You know, they're trying to tell you that one of those cups that they've tipped over is your intuition. You know, that you can't trust what you think, that you can't trust what you feel, that you can't trust the wisdom that God instills in you. But that's not true. So God's got you tucked over here. Sure, you're in your intuition. You're trying to think about it. You've had to fucking take a lot of losses. You know, you've lost 3 cups out of 5. That's more than half. And so you're taking some fucking hits. But they haven't hit you where it matters. They only shot you in the throat, try to shut you up, but they didn't fucking kill you. You know? And that's what that's saying, man. Why the ancestors here? Why the ancestors hanging out over here with shit, no, way. Trying to keep the truth, yeah. Yeah, man, because see, wild strawberry, man. Wild strawberry always comes up right here. Wild strawberry. But it's in the reverse. It's 9 wands in the reverse. And so that's wild strawberry. But that's wild strawberry that's saying, nah, fuck you all. No. I'm going to protect my fruit. This is what that is, you know. It's not longer feeling like it's like that's wild strawberry not feeling embattled. It's like in the upright position. That's a soldier that is embattled, wounded, damaged. You know, trying to you know they you don't know whether they got 9 wands in their favor or 9 wands against it, but all you know is they only got 1 wand in their fucking hand, right? And they're beat the fuck up because of that, and so they ain't taking straight. But they gotta keep fighting, you know, and they gotta figure out who's on their team and who's not on their team, because nobody knows if those 9 wands behind them are coming to kick their ass or they're coming to fucking help them, you know. And that's all gonna be figured out if they can take that situation to a 10 of wands instead of a 10 of swords. But they're trying to get us to all be in a 10 of swords with this bolt over here shot in the throat. But our ancestors are kind of like saying, fight your own battles at this point. That's really what they're saying, because the ancestors are stepping back a little bit because they know damn good and well that the only thing between us and them, you know, is that, well, I guess between the collective, between the massive and them is the collective right now, and they want the collective to drive, and that's us. That's the 144,000, and so they're telling us. No, you guys got this. You know, it's like them 9 wands that are behind the individual. We're not wounded anymore. See, like we're out of that energy. That's why it's in the reverse. You know, it's like we're out of that energy. We're wild strawberries for sure, and we're in the forest where we're supposed to be, and we're getting ready to have a bountiful fucking season. We're gonna bear our fruits, you know, and we're gonna protect that shit. But we're gonna protect that shit because it's like Most High is like the high priest. It's like Most High is like the headmaster, man. Like they know it all. They know everything. They're like the Supreme Court judge, I guess, if you want to go that way or whatever. You know, I don't know how to compare it. They're like the fucking whatever, you know. And so they're above everything, you know. Like they know everything, right? And so like God's busy, man. You know, it's like he's the emperor, you know. God's the emperor, right? And so the emperor is trying to micromanage everything around him, you know, and everything. And so they got their spirits, you know, and the spirits, they've been monitoring all of us and everything. That's our angels, you know. And so they're kind of watching us, but certain ones of us have been picking up what they've been putting down. And so we are those balloons now. We're elevating, you know. And the ones of us who've been able to have the strings cut, or that they've cut the strings from, I guess, some of us, we've gone a little bit higher. But right now, the spirits, you know, are kind of, it's like we got to take our driver test here, yeah? They want us to fucking elevate. They're working with our spirits here because they want us to also have the experience. It's like they want us to be in our higher selves in this realm because they want to see this realm elevate. They want to see the whole realm elevate, you know? And so, but they want us to do that ourselves, because unless we do it ourselves, unless we build it on our own, then we're not going to value it like we should, you know? It's like we're going to easily lose it again because we don't value it. And that's what happens, you know? It's like we need to see ourselves in our creation. That's why God created us as God's avatar in the first place, you know? Because God wanted to see us live this experience out and do the same divine choices and make the same divine creation that they would do themselves, and then they could see that their work is good for sure because they tested it, they ran it, they've tested it, they know, they got it, they got a control now, and so like right now. The spirit team, the ancestors here, like the ancient ones that work with God directly, that are looking down on us. It's like the only thing that stands between us and God, and they've been trying to guide us and direct us and tutor us and do everything so that when we go in front of the emperor, our judgment goes well. When we stand in front of the emperor says, that's a divine one right there. That's a fucking empress, actually. I want to marry that one. And that's what we're trying to do here. And so the spirits are asking us to start to learn how to trust our intuition, to realize that this bullet, it maybe shot you in the throat or whatever. Fucking learn sign language. Shit, we live in the age of technology, man. Text, you still got thumbs. You can speak your fucking truth no matter what. Get it the fuck out there. Even if it's to your fucking dog. When you have that conversation with your dog, you're speaking with your spirit and you're just getting closer and closer and closer to understanding exactly what it is. You're cutting those fucking ties, you're cutting them fucking strings that got you stuck in this motherfucker out here underneath that fucking mushroom, lost emotionally, not knowing how to make the right decisions. Listening to this Queen of Wands and supporting her fucking kingdom, and she wants to rule the world with fire, right? And black magic and all this suffering and all this fucking bullshit. She wants everything to be her ego, and they don't want nothing good for you. They want to sever your ties with God Most High with that fucking Ten of Swords, that bullet right there, Leave you out in the fucking cold, tip your cups over. And they want to rule the world with that shit. That's why they got these little punk-ass motherfuckers like Zelensky and like these guys that are deceptive, like Putin and fucking Trump out here fucking everything up in this world, Pigs like fucking, what the fuck his name is? Bibi. Fuck that guy. Shut his fucking mouth. He needs to sit the fuck down. He needs to shut the fuck up, They all do. They all do. They will. That bullet right there, that comes from the fucking pistol of the Most High. And the Most High packs heat, you damn right he does. You bad right they fucking do. And when they shoot you with their motherfucking pistol, you shut the fuck up and you sit down. That's what you do. And you do not fucking argue with them. You don't. And they're saying right now, y'all start dropping bombs and shit. Most High is gonna come down here and mop the floor with their asses. That's what's coming. That's what's coming, And Most High is not even going to do that. Most High is going to release it is relinquishing the power to the chosen ones, Yeah, they are, That's what's happening. Like I told that story about them scorpions, and how he's put them scorpions in the fucking anthill and everything, and fucking watch that war, and then the ants fucking eat the scorpion, all that shit, right? See, what's happening is that the motherfuckers have been holding that mason jar. They got everybody convinced they're holding that mason jar. They're treating us like the scorpion, or treating us, our societies and everything, anything that's good, like a scorpion, and so they're plucking the scorpion out and they're putting it on that ant pile, And what's happening now is God is going to take them motherfuckers that have been running that mason jar and put them inside that mason jar. And then God's going to sit there and for fun, they're going to pluck that, them motherfuckers, them controllers of this world, them leaders and shit out of that mason jar. And they're going to be setting them down on that ant pile, right? But now that ant pile is going to be a pile of scorpions. And they're going to be working in union. They're going to be running that shit. And them ants all are going to listen to them scorpions. They're going to pay fucking attention because ants can't control 1 million scorpions or 144,000 scorpions, man. They need to fucking line the fuck up, right? And so the fucking good Lord, Father God's going to fucking be sitting there at that mason jar. He's going to be putting them leaders down on them scorpions. And we're going to do what we're going to do, Scorpions are going to do what scorpions do. And that's what that is, And that's what that is. And we're going to be so fucking powerful now because, see, like a teacher teaches its student so that the student becomes the master, even more masterful than the teacher itself, right? And so we've been in tutorage with the spirit team, with our spirit team and everything. and they're all gonna kind of step back a little bit, you know. So those ants, because we got legions of angels, man, legions and legions and legions of them. Each one of us is just a scorpion, right? But the devil's got legions and legions and legions of fucking morons, demons, right? And so they could easily outnumber us, scorpions right now, because like we're just a lone scorpion out here in the fucking woods and everything. And so it's kind of easy to fucking isolate that individual and fuck them up if you got a million fucking demons out here, like a million ants. But as soon as we make that union with Most High all the way, and we get access to our legions of fucking angels the righteous ants, right over down them angels. Fucking devil don't stand a chance, man. And that's gonna be the last fucking motherfucker to come out of that mason jar, and God's gonna place that fat fucking pig down in front of us, and we're gonna feast on that fucking beast, and then it's gonna be game over, man. And this is gonna be a different fucking world out here. It's gotta be a different fucking world out here. Let's get some turtle over here on this two swords, huh? Two swords over here. The emotions, you know. They're hiding their fucking emotions. Hiding their fucking shit, man. People are throwing, King of Wands, see. A lot of fire out here, too, you know. Fire and air, man. Fire, air, a little tiny bit of water, right? But even that water's got air on it, so that means them emotions. Them cups got tipped over because of the emotional turmoil right now, you know. Inability to make a decision properly because, like, once again, that King of Wands, man, he's sitting there and all he's got in his hands, sitting there with this fucking wand in his hand, you know. I think that we got a lot of that energy going on around us right now. But that King of Wands, see, he can't make proper decisions over his water because that's the water coin coming out there too, you know. And so if this King of Wands was in a good emotional state in their water, then they wouldn't have that two swords coming out with that chickweed in the reverse, you know. And so that's why I'm saying with this King of Wands, even though they're in the upright right now, there's something that is going on intellectually for this King of Wands in their thoughts, you know, like decisions that they're making, that's causing them to not understand their emotions. They're hiding their own emotions from themselves because of the way they're seeing the world around them, you know? And so that confusion is, because that's a confusion like over your passions. It's like the things that you're getting very passionate about that are causing you emotion, you know? And so, but that emotion is confusing you as to like why you're feeling passionate about those things, you know? And so it's like you're not trusting your intuition over here, right? So it's like, you know, that the direction that you're going in with your kingdom of fire is like is possibly causing you to feel a lack of emotional fulfillment because it doesn't match with your intellect, you know? It's like we're not following the right passions in our lives that are emotionally fulfilling us, you know? And so the burdock that we're planting in our garden is causing our ego to be inflamed, you know? It's like the ego is getting so big that ego is standing in the way of us seeing our emotions in a way that is intellectually fucking satisfying, right? And so even though this King of Wands and the Queen of Wands are coming out in the upright positions, there's still some turmoil in that kingdom, you know, and that's why it's in battle right now, you know. And so the Kingdom of Wands is the kingdom of, you know, passions, which is earth binding, you know, too. I mean, we can have a passion for God, but that should be the only passion that really drives us the most, you know, that we should get emotional about. Our other passions, we should have a little bit more of earth with that, you know. To have an emotional state hiding out underneath the mushroom with that two of swords, which is a divided energy intellectually, that's not good energy to have your passions in because that means you don't know what you're chasing, and that's going to cause a war. It's going to cause a struggle. It's going to cause a battle in your life. It's going to cause you discontent, you know? And so the masculine energy of the King of Wands couple is confused about their emotions right now, you know? And so like the King and Queen of Wands, that could be a divine couple, for sure, you know, that could be a divine union of forces. Even, I mean, that could be like a divine union if we were to say like the the divine union with the air over here could be like a leader that had air in their charts of one country, but that was a little bit of weird emotionally. That was over emotional. And this one over here could be a feminine energy of another country that's in the fire energy as well, but that's badass, and embattled fucking that knows what they're fucking doing. That's a soldier, and so those two energies could be divided because the one energy is kind of acting like a little fucking brat. But the feminine energy is standing on their shit right here. You see this? And that burdock energy. And so with that soldier button, like I was saying, and so they're like already got the fucking roots in the ground, kind of, like they ain't fucking around, they ain't playing games. Whereas the King of Wands over here, and they're in their earth too, and so this is a very grounded, very rooted, and so the burdock root is actually very nutritive too. It's very healthy, so it doesn't have to be always about ego. If you understand, you want, like, burdock's good in your garden, the Chinese eat the fuck out of burdock. And so it could also be like an invasive. So all the docks, they could be invasive or whatever. But this Queen of Wands with this embattled energy, it's kind of like, it makes me feel like the Queen of Wands is a more mature energy than the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is a little flighty, like they're a little flighty with that air, And so, but they're flighty and emotional. And so it's like they kind of fucking like, they need to rein in their shit. They need to sit underneath that emotion and think about it for a little bit, because this conflict between the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands is going to go global, and we don't fucking want that, We don't want that. Not at all. That would be really bad. Spirit, what's going on with the Queen of Wands? Burdock, is this burdock about ego? Yeah, man. And see, that's not good. And that's really what's going on right now. Like they're really trying to do this shit seriously. Seriously, and we need to right now. It's crucial. This is like go time, you guys. Like it really is. It's high alert, because shit could go fucking sideways really fast right now. It could, and it really could. Man, we got a lot of fucking dumbass motherfuckers out here trying really hard. Trying really fucking hard, man. But you know the truth. And we gotta start speaking on that truth. We need to start being princes, kings and queens of peace. We really do. We got to start. We have to find that space in our heart. We have to heal our heart chakras, and we have to find that space that is safe, that is grounded, that's confident, that's secure, that is in union with Most High. And we need to listen to that, and we need to vibrate at that frequency. We need to recognize that frequency and know what it is. Like I was saying, it's like when little guy's popping off like that, and he's also fucking happy, or like when Buddy's popping off, he's all happy. We need to be that in our space, and try to really share that with others, and get away from this whole concept of everything's like predatorial. It's like you can't even be fucking nice to people nowadays without them fucking being suspicious about you. And that's the other energy. That's that dark energy that's encroaching onto our fucking planet. That's causing these energies like this King and Queen of Wands to have far too much fucking power and control than what they should have. Because even if this burdock over here is good, like if it's a good nutritive plant or whatever and everything, you still can't have only burdock in your garden. They don't need to rule the world, like they don't deserve to rule the world. We gotta stop trying to rule the world, because we're turning the world upside down with that fucking bullshit, man. Right? Why is this boat out here, Spirit, with the intuition of the moon? And milkweed. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, Knight of Cups. See, you need to trust your intuition. That Knight of Cups, that's when Spirit's coming at you and they want to fucking lift your heart up, man. They're telling you that they're trying to bring you a little sample of all that goodness that God has in your Ace of Cups. they're just like, hey, taste this shit, man. That's what little guy's doing when he sees me, and he knows I'm fucking out here fighting. I'm on the streets, man. I'm fucking battling hard. I'm a fucking warrior. He sees me lick my wounds all the time. Sees me lick my wounds all fucking night long. And but he wants to be like he sees me. He says, hey, man, that's this energy. It's the fucking dude. What the fuck, man? Fuck, I love you, you know? It's like, fuck, I love you, man. Fuck, I love you. Fucking watch me play stick. Fucking watch this, man. You know, because he's trying to lift my spirits. He's trying to make me feel better, you know? He knows. He's like, man, motherfucker right here. He looks at me sometimes like, I don't even know how you're still alive. And I was like, yeah, I know, little guy. You know, the motherfucker probably seen me die a couple times. I don't even know, you know? But fucking, that's what that is, you know. Spirit saying that you could be that Nine of Cups for other individuals that are around you, and that's how we exercise our throat chakra the best manner, you know. That's where we realize, because like when we see that energy, when we're able to share of that energy, right? Because that Five of Cups right there, those Five of Hearts, yeah, well, a couple of those hearts have been broken, you know, 3 of them hearts have been broken, but the 2 hearts that aren't broken are yours of God, because God's got your shit covered, you know. And so you could go into this world with innocence and trusting and a willingness to learn from others and all of that, but you could offer them your heart, that heart space that makes you feel good, that lights up, like when it's lit up like that, when you see your pet, you know, like when Dead Wolf sees Buddy, or like when I see Little Guy or whatever, you know, and that heart space glows. Well, that's what that night has in that cup, you know. And so the world's telling you, hey, man, go out there, and instead of going out there with that sword in your hand, you know, break them a cup, let them have a little taste of what God's goodness is inside you, because you got a vast heart space that's filled with a lot of love and abundance, where you wouldn't recognize that in the animals or the other people that are around you and shit, you know. So share that, you know. Take that shot in the throat. Yeah, we all been told shut the fuck up many times, you know, many times. I've always been told shut the fuck up. There was a joke when I was a kid. They always said shut up was my middle name, you know. I don't think it's fucking funny, not at all. But that's not gonna stop me from being that Knight of Cups, you know. You know, I'm gonna be in that Knight of Cups energy because I deserve that. You know, it's like, it's hard to say who gets their rocks off more, me or Little Guy, when he is popping off like that, because, man, I'm telling you right now, he's having a good time. I mean, honestly, he lifts my spirits up a little bit, but fuck, I sure as hell don't ever fucking feel like that. I mean, he's just like fucking live, you know? It's like a live wire. It's like a telephone pole went down, the wires are popping around, fucking down. It's like, damn, child, it's like a 25-pound dog, you know? It's fucking. So that's what Spirit's saying, man. Get your passions, and take your passions, and that passion, that seeing something happy is your passion, you know? And that's your emotional passion. It makes you feel good. Share that with the world, you know? You know? They ain't shooting us in the throat no more, man. We're done being told shut the fuck up. Yeah. Because they ain't gonna tell us shut the fuck up, because shit, look, bottom of the deck, man. How's that, you know? And see, that night is just like, you're just gonna offer the rest of the world a sample of the goodness that you have in your heart, that where God touches you, you know, because God's touching you in them heartstrings inside of you. When you see goodness and joy, when you see innocence, and you see something that's soft that you want to protect and everything, you know, and you see that thing happy, and you see that thing lit up, and that lights your heart space, that's because you're fucking good, man. That's because you're divine. That's because you're chosen by God, you know, and God wants to fucking light that space inside of you with this Ace of Cups, man, and fill that space up so full that you got extra, and you could ride around like that night and deliver that goodness to the whole fucking world, you know. That's awesome. I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of us, all of us, you know. We're doing this shit right now. Spirit. And that's the ancestors telling us over here, just while strawberry in the reverse, it's time for us to pick our own fruit. You know, yeah, fuck yeah, it is. That's Excalibur, folks. That's God's sword of fucking truth, man. And it tells no lies, you know. It cuts through all bullshit. It is the deal, man. That's the deal you made with God, you know, and you've agreed, you've signed on that dotted line. And so you can go in this world now like that night, and you can have that cup in your hands to offer the abundance that God offers you, you know. With this Ace of Cups, it's right here peeking out of the deck too, you know, look at that. So that's that what God gives you. God says, nah, man, you don't need that sword in your hand no more, because the world is already afraid of you. You go out there with a sword and they're fucking scared to death of you, you know? It's like, fuck, your tongue isn't sharp enough sword already, is what Spirit says. It speaks motherfucking truth. And that's why your heart is overflowing with the abundance of God that's pure and true. And you can share that shit. And it's not going to be about getting your dick wet. It's not going to be about getting more money. It's not going to be about being more powerful. It's not going to be about your ego. You know, it's going to be about lifting others. You know, it's going to be about others, putting the fucking scissors in the hands of others, putting that sword in the hands of others. That is the truth. So that they can make that choice that they need to make, and they can sever them ties while you sit there and gracefully say, look, man, you're not going to bleed out. You're good, you know. And even if you bleed a little bit, we'll catch you in this cup and put it back in you. You know, you're good. And that's what we are right now. We're powerful because we know that we can move in our emotion, that we can move in our spirit, in our union with Most High, and we can deliver the truth to the world. That's sharp, sharp, sharp like a sword, but it's fulfilling in the heart and the soul, and it helps them rise up too, man, because we can get them to cut them strings, you know. And that's exactly what Spirit's trying to tell us with this 9 of Wands and this 9 of Wands in the reverse with the wild strawberries. God's saying, hey man, I fucking love you motherfuckers, you know. You fucking water your motherfucking garden. You do your fucking shit here, and I'm going to protect your motherfucking fruit because the ancestors approve you. See? And God's like, yeah, I've been micromanaging my shit here, and I peek it on you every once in a while, and I've always been like, yeah, they're doing a fucking good job, keep going, you know, whatever. But God's like, whatever, I'm God, man. You gonna fucking press me, you better show up, you know. And that's fair, you know. It's like, yeah, fuck yeah, you know. If you don't just be a deckhand and right into the captain's fucking seat, you know, right? And so you got to fucking work your way up top, man. And that's the way it goes, you know. God's like, captain won't even fucking talk to you about fishing until they know you can fish, you know. And so now the captain knows that you can fish. And so they're like, okay, they see you, you know. They see you, but they're seeing you now. You kind of outdid the other deckhands. That's your spirit team, you know. And your spirit team's like, oh, fuck yeah, you know, because they look really good now because you trained them. But now you're like the best block guy on the whole fucking back deck. Your shit runs fucking tip top because you've learned a little piece from every one of them motherfuckers. And then you put it all together and you became that one individual, that one Megatron, that one mighty motherfucker who could do every fucking thing on that fucking boat, you know? Every fucking thing. Every fucking thing. Everybody could leave. It could be just you and the captain and that shit's still gonna run good, you know? And that's what it is. That's what Spirit Team's fucking telling you, man. That's what Spirit Team's telling you. That's Spirit Team's telling us, you know? That's what we're hearing from our Spirit Team right now, and that's why, even though yesterday was a little rough or whatever, you know, we got in Spirit, we got individuals around us, we got those familiars, you know, we got those. God can work through all things, you know, just like the devil can work through them mice, you know. God can work through all things that are around us, you know. And I got a lot of plants. God's been working with me with the plants. My plants have been making me happy. They've been doing good, really. Honestly, I've only had a few losses, really. Next year, I'm not going to have any. Well, I will. You always do. But the thing is the only way that they're losses is if you see them as losses, you know? And so, like, this year, it's just what it is. I don't have a lot of peppers, but that's not a loss. It's like I never had anything in the first place. That's the beauty of growing a garden, man. Yeah, the only time that you know you have something is when you sink your teeth into it. And that's what it is. That's life, right? Just be very conscious and aware of yourself right now, you know. Take care of yourself. Show yourself love, you know. Stay away from the things that make you vibrate lower. Stay away from what you know is like trying to shoot you in the throat, shut you up, man. Even if you got to try to talk to yourself right now to have a conversation so that you ain't getting shot in the throat the entire time that you're trying to talk, then so be it. Talk to yourself, you know. Spirit is always listening. The more you talk to them, the more they answer, and that's the way it works, you know. Tenderness. See? And that's what I'm talking about here. That's what I'm talking about with this Knight of Cups, with this Ace of Cups, that Ace of Swords, you know. It's that our sword right now is our tenderness, you know. Is our realization is that we're not here to cut the cords for them, you know, that we got to show them tenderly and direct them to realize that like that's not an umbilical cord right there. It's not sustaining. It's not giving you life. You're not going to die if you cut it. You're going to be free. You know, but we got to do that tenderly. That's what Spirit's telling us, because with all this fire energy, with this King and Queen of Wands right here, and the potential for thermonuclear warfare and all this bullshit that's really crashing down around us everywhere. The economy, everything is really fucking down. This thing needs to slow the fuck down right now, you know. And so we got to go tender about showing these individuals of how we're gonna wean them off of the teat of the devil, man. You know, we gotta show them the delight, you know, that we have in our union and our relationship with God Most High. That's us as that knight again, you know, because we're coming in as that knight, because we're not coming in like a king with an army trying to force them to see the love of God Most High. We're offering them an opportunity to see that, you know. We're presenting them our cup, not a sword, you know. We're coming at them tender, you know. We're going to come at them with an attitude that's going to give them the inspiration for exploration, right? And so that's good, you know, and that's what that Knight of Cups, that's an invitation, you know, that's an invitation. You're letting them taste that fine wine that you have more of to offer, because it's a cup that's always overflowing, that's offered by the Most High, but maybe they've never gotten a taste of it. And so once they get a little sip of it, it's kind of like they feel like you feel when you see your animals being really happy or whatever, and they feel that around you. Then they realize, they get a little taste of it, and they might be like a drug addict at first, where they're like, oh, but you made me feel like that. But that's where we are tender. We teach them. We say, no. You made yourself feel like that because you recognize that energy that vibrates within you, that is your spirit team shares with my spirit team, you know? And so we vibrate at the same frequency, which means you're very close to Most High. And so explore that relationship that you have inside yourself with Most High. And don't, you know, and so it's like we could give them that first one's free thing with that knight, right? With the knight right here. We could be like, look, you're not stuck out in the cold. There's cups waiting for you right there. They're full, you know, and that's given to you by Most High. But you got to speak for yourself with Most High, you know. And so it's like we could invite them to have that conversation with that Ace of Swords with the Most High and explore that relationship that they're having with Most High that was stimulated by that divine connection that you have with those individuals, because they recognize the frequency of happiness that you have inside yourself, and they'll explore that, you know. And then you could be like educate them, you know, lead them to say, hey, I didn't make you feel that way. You did, you know. It's like your spirit team is asking you to explore that vast space that's within you that can provide you never-ending abundance of happiness that you felt in that brief moment when you felt that energy on me, you know. And that's a delightful fucking thing to do, and that's the most tender approach that we could possibly fucking take, you know. And it comes with responsibility, because like, again, you know, it's like it comes with responsibility, you know? And the responsibility is that we can't take credit for that shit, you know? That we can't be burdock. Burdock's obviously causing these problems with all their big leaves, all that ego. They're overshadowing a lot of the littler, smaller, a lot of the wild strawberries, you know? The wild strawberries, they grow on the forest floor and everything, and so they need light too, you know? And so if all these king and queens of wands out here that are just rampaging on the world, fucking destroying everything that's beautiful that God created without any responsibility, it's our responsibility to come up with a compassionate and tender way to change that, you know? And that's going to require a lot of exploration of new ways of thinking. But if we don't present them that opportunity, when we come at them as that Knight of Cups with just that little taste of it, we're saying, hey, take a taste of this, and if that makes them emotionally, they're like, ooh, that they get that fucking emotional fulfillment like you get when you see your animals being really happy. Then you could lead them to the Ace of Cups that God's trying to offer them over here, that their ancestors are trying to offer them. That's protected too by the truth that is God, you know. And so it requires perseverance, and we all know that, and that's why, see, we've persevered, you know. And so the ones that are below us still, you know, because like we're rising up there, you know, we're pretty high up there, we're fucking flying up there. There ain't a lot of fucking strings that still got us attached. You can barely, when they look at us, you know, it's like when that balloon gets away from kid or whatever, And it gets way up there. You can't see that. You're like, whoa, you gotta look. You fucking, it's way up. That's us right now, you know? But that's because we persevered. We've been willing to cut them strings. And so we're really close to the Most High, and we're fucking feeling good about that, you know? We're feeling powerful about that. But we got to be teaching them to persevere too, you know? We can't float so fucking far up above that we forget what our mission is. That's what they're trying to tell us right now. And that's why we're still grounded. We're still rooted here. We have days like yesterday, you know? Yesterday was a day that required a lot of perseverance. Emotionally, it was not light. You know, it's like a heavy high pressure or low pressure system came in, or high pressure system came in, or whatever. And it's pushing on our balloon. You know, and so they manipulate the weather too. You guys don't think they don't. We're gonna have to persevere through lots of different attacks because they're really coming after us right now. You know, and they're really trying to destroy God's great creation and everything. They're trying to sever them ties. They're trying to shoot right through that connection that we have through our intuition with God Most High, the way that we talk to our spirit team, you know. But we're not gonna have it. We're gonna say fuck you guys. Yeah, just that's what we're gonna fucking say. That is what we're gonna say. Is fuck you guys, and that's cool. I think that's awesome. Be peace, you guys. Be peace. Be peace in your heart. Be peace in your soul. Be peace with everything, even the things that hurt so fucking deeply, you know. Because I know, man. Fuck, dude. I've been fucking just savage, you know. Really, I haven't always been great, you know. But I fucked up a lot of shit, fucking young, you know, and like learned a lot of lessons, making a lot of mistakes, doing a lot of stupid shit that I fucking was taught by these King and Queen of Wands over here, basically. You know? I mean, I wasn't thinking. I was thinking like a King of Wands. Only one thing is my wand in my hand. You know, I didn't even know how to use that motherfucker properly, right? And so, through all of that, you know, like God showed me the light, man, and my heart space is like so free now. Like it's something. It's just something that you just want to share. You know, it's like when it comes down to it, it's like, you know. But that's like you know, it's like if you're free, if you're like free, it'd be like it's kind of like you're a bird that flies down to the prison window, prison walls, right? The cage, you know, everybody's outside in the yard or whatever. The bird flies down and fucking lands there on that cage, you know. And everybody sees the freedom in that bird and everything, but the bird can't take them with them, you know, kind of right now. And so we're like that bird, you know. And so it's like we got to figure out how to break them free from them walls, you know, and but without getting caught up ourselves, you know. It's like one of them. We gotta be sly right now. We gotta be tricky, man. And so we got this, you know. Gotta use our tenderness. We gotta have delight in our hearts. We gotta understand that we're here to teach others to be willing to have exploration in their life of their spiritual realm, you know, and so that they could gain power and control over their emotions and not be caught in this two of swords energy trying to hide their emotions, you know, like this King of Wands is over here with their wand in their hand, you know. And we gotta get these energies, these king, like in our empire, in God's empire of the globe right now. What we, the human beings, need to do is get our fucking passions in line here and not be passionate about fucking killing each other, not be passionate about dominating the world, not be passionate about dominating each other, not marching around with our fucking dick in our hand, having dick swinging contests where everybody's fucking life is at fate, you know, at risk, you know, like we gotta quit doing that shit. We gotta fucking grow up, and we gotta tell our kingdoms of fire, we got to control our passions. You know, we can't be out here just trying to fuck everything, own everything, conquer everything, be everything. You know, we got to grow the fuck up, man. And because otherwise, there's not going to be enough world to go around for all of us. And so we need to fucking figure this out now. That's what they're saying. Spirit world saying now, right now. Fuck you guys. Now. That's what they're saying. That's what I'm hearing. I keep hearing them. You know, and this is that God's badass motherfucker. This ain't my spirit. My spirit's like. My spirits are out in the fucking dugout smoking a joint, talking about how we're gonna solve this problem. But the ones that tell my spirits to step in line, they're saying now. That's what they're saying. They know we fucking perform pretty good. They know that we're like that fool energy. We're that fucking the Heyoka or whatever. We're the fucking you know, God loves us, but we're clowns. And so But the ones that are serious are saying, seriously, man, it's fucking go time. It's time to get off the pot, you know? And so, anyhow, we're going to do it. Love y'all. I love everything about what's happening right now. You know, we're in an interesting time. So even with these cold energies and shit, hey, we're doing it. We're fucking rising up, man. And so we just got to keep doing it. And then eventually, you know, good thing, it's bound to take off. It's what it is, you know? And so we just got to deal with it. And the beast is going to eat shit and die, man. That's what they deserve. So anyhow, I love y'all. We're going to do this thing. It's just one step at a time. It's one happy moment at a time that we're willing to share with others around us, and just know that we're doing that freely. We don't have nothing else invested into it other than that we want to bring joy to the world that's around us, because we see that it lacks that, and that's how we destroy the beast. Y'all, I love you. Hang in there. Stay safe. Keep it real.